Hey everybody, Thacia here with Legacy of Light in conjunction with One Love Wellness Center here in Menasha, Wisconsin, coming to you for one of my 365 days from my heart to yours. And today I will be sharing the fourth agreement in the fifth agreement from Don Miguel and Don Jose Ruiz, a father and son duo talking about Toltec wisdom. And also, if you are following these videos, you may know that some days there may be 2 videos uploaded, or there's a span in between days. That's because I'm not doing this full time yet. I still have another job, actually several jobs. I work with mentally and physically handicapped people. I also work with One Love Wellness Center, and I also do my healing through there and through different avenues. And then I'm also a musician, so I lead a pretty busy life. So sometimes actually what happens is I'll be uploading videos and I won't realize till the next day that there was some sort of error uploading the video, or some days I will, maybe record a video in the morning and then one in the evening, and then just upload those both at the same time when I have time to do that. So some days there may be a lapse. It's still, the 365 days, maybe not consecutive, or maybe, I don't know. I feel like I just do however I'm led. And sometimes I just literally do not have time because I'm going from, the one job to dropping, my kids off at work to, then going to One Love to, to coming back and, getting home at 10 or 11 at night. And then I'm just, I'm not at my best, which is actually what we're going to talk about today. And it's fitting that I decided to discuss this because today's practice is always do your best. So that's what I'm doing. So you may notice that it may not be every day, and I try my best to have a video every day, but sometimes it just doesn't work out like that. Now, if this was my only job and I just had this and One Love Wellness, then that would be super easy to accomplish in that, but that is not how it is yet. It will be. I just don't know when, but it's part of life. It's part of the journey and figuring it all out. So today for the fifth agreement, it is practice makes the master. So the fourth agreement is always do your best. When you are ready to change your life, when you are ready to change your agreements, the most important thing is awareness. You cannot change your agreements if you aren't aware of what you like and what you don't like. How can you change anything if you're not even aware of what you want to change? But it's more than just being aware. It's the practice that will make a difference, because you can be aware, but that doesn't mean your life will change. And change is the result of action. It's the result of practice, and practice makes the master. And just to share a little bit about that is, I think I talked about this the other day as well. Just thinking back to, when my, awareness, or whatever you want to call it, journey began, I couldn't understand how people could be aware and still be, doing and living these lower vibrational spaces, so to speak. They were still doing shitty things to other people, and that really confused me, because I was just like, oh, you're awake, you're aware, you must have your shit together, but we still have free will. So, and, we need to practice these things. Once we become aware that we want to change something, then we have to decide, what we want to do about that. We can do nothing, and that's fine if that's what we decide, or we can do something and we can practice to, to do the things, or to be the human that we want to be, that we're striving to be. So it says, everything that you have learned, and learned through repetition and practice. So the first 3 agreements may seem difficult to do. They may even seem impossible for us to do. So the first 3 agreements, if, you know, in case you haven't seen the other 2 videos, or 3, yeah, because this is the 4th. So be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally, and don't make assumptions. So the first 3 agreements may seem difficult to do. They may even seem impossible for us to do. Well, believe me, it is not impossible. But I have to agree that it's difficult because we practice exactly the opposite. All of our lives we practice believing the voice in our head. But there is the 4th agreement. And it's easy. This is the agreement that makes everything possible. Always do your best. You can do your best, and that's it. No more, no less. Just do your best. Do. Take action. How can you do your best if you don't take action? Always do your best is the agreement that everybody can do. Your best is in fact the only thing that you can do. And the best you can do doesn't mean that sometimes you give 80% and other times you just give 20%. You're always giving 100%. That's always your intention. And within intention, that sets the direction for everything in our life. What we are willing, as I've realized, you know, recently, you have to be willing. Like, I am willing. I'm willing to let go of this crap and open up space for what the universe wants to bring. But first of all, you have to be willing to let that go, or willing to find why you created this need so that you can let that go. And then within that becomes your intention, and your intention sets your direction, which way you're going. So it's just that your best is always changing from one moment to the next. You're never the same. You are alive and changing all the time, and your best is also changing from one moment to the next. Your best will depend on whether you're feeling physically tired or refreshed. Your best will depend on how you're feeling emotionally. Your best is going to change over time. And as you form the habit of practicing the 4 agreements, your best is going to get better. So if you're, you know, in a struggling space right now, you have the hope and the promise from the universe that your best is not going to be the same today as it will be tomorrow, a month from now, a year from now. If you set the intention to do these practices and to follow the guidance of yourself, to follow what you want to will into this existence, your best will change to, you know, to the positive. And it's not going to be the same. The 4th agreement allows the first 3 agreements to become deeply ingrained habits. If you fail to keep one of the agreements, make that agreement again. Begin again tomorrow and again the next day. Keep practicing and practicing. Each day will become easier. And by doing your best, the habits of misusing your word, taking things personally, and making assumptions will become weaker and less frequent over time. And eventually the moment will come when all 4 agreements become habit. And you don't even have to try. Life gives us everything, and everything in life can be a pleasure. Why not believe in the generosity of life? Why not learn to be generous and kind to yourself? If that makes you happy and you're good to everybody around you, why not? If you're always transforming, if your dream is always changing, even if you don't want it to change, why not master the transformation and create your purple heaven? That's cool if you want a purple heaven. Or your personal heaven. Why not? The dream of your life is made by thousands of little dreams that are dynamic. Dreams are born, they grow, they die, which means they're always transforming. But usually they're transforming without your awareness. Once you are aware that you are dreaming, you recover your power to change the dream to whatever you choose. And the Toltecs believe that you are the artist. And, that goes aligned with you are the creator. You are the artist creating this dream, making it a reality for you. And within this dream, when we practice these 4 agreements, then we become our best. There's a saying that a lot of people in this path say, it's for my highest and best good. Well, when I'm striving and I'm practicing these things daily, in every moment, and there's going to be failures or whatever you want to call them. I don't believe that anything we do is a failure, but they're going to be maybe stumbles. But what are you going to do about that? We can, talk bad to ourselves, but that's not helping us. We can look at why, maybe we had that moment where we weren't impeccable with our words. Well, what can I do next time? And, Don Miguel and Don Jose just say, start over. It's okay. Like, this is your dream. And sometimes things take practice and definitely if you want to become the master of your reality, of your life, of your dream, if you want to become the master artist of all that you are creating, it may take some practice. And I believe a lot of times failure is just asking us to go another way. It's saying this is not the way. And then also so that we look within ourselves to see why, okay, this happened. Why have I created this pattern? And when you find that, then you find the answer. You find the freedom within yourself to realize why this pattern was created in the first place. Because a lot of these patterns were created to protect you. You created them. A part of you created them as a protection, a defense, so that whatever the reason was you created it for wouldn't happen again. So, within all of that brings us to our best at every moment. And your best is changing. Like he said, it's not an 80-20 or a 60-40 or any sort of split. It's always your best. If that is your intention, sometimes your best is, I didn't get very much sleep this week, whatever. So my best today, the 100% that is today, is not my 100% that it was 2 weeks ago, when I was getting all the sleep that I wanted, but it wasn't any less. You were still your best on that day as you were on this day. So give yourself some grace and some love, and realize that when you become aware and when you set this intention that I will always do my best, that it will come to fruition. It will happen. I will to will thy will, and thy will is mine. I am willing this into this existence. I am willing to let go of these patterns and the need for these patterns. I'm willing to let go of my need for this. And some of it we may have to ask to be shown, like why, and it may come, through an interaction with somebody, this emotional feeling, so that we can live through it and we can see where it was coming from and why it was, useful to us at one time, and we don't have to live in it. So when we're willing, we may have to go through some stuff, but that's, you know, that's part of this existence here, is that, you know, when we become aware, and when we set our intention to be our best, it doesn't mean that every day is going to be, you know, perfect and beautiful and wonderful. It's going to be an experience, and that's what we're looking for, to create this beautiful masterpiece that we are creating as artists, to live this dream, to make this dream our reality of our divine expression and who each of us are. So we can always do our best, and we are always doing our best when we have that intention. And, you know, when we practice the, you know, these 4 agreements, like this was given, like everyone can do this. It literally says everyone can do this. And the other ones just take practice. And, you know, awareness. And once we become aware, then we have a choice. And we've always had a choice. And we always will have a choice. And our choices aren't wrong. They're not right. They are just our choices. This is what I'm choosing to do with the wisdom, the knowledge, everything that I have in this moment is why I made this choice. That's why we don't have to get down on ourselves from past choices we've made, because we did so the best that we could do at that moment. And that's all that we could do, because that's all the information, that's all the knowledge that we had at that moment. You know, you're in a different place now. So how can you expect that you to make the same decisions that this you is now making? It's not possible because you didn't have all the same information. And so, you know, again, give yourself some grace, give yourself some love to, you know, thrive now and practice these things. You know, be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. And, you know, don't make assumptions. I know I have to laugh at myself a lot of times, and that's another thing that we need to do, is just, there's joy and laughter in, you know, looking at a situation where you're like, oh, like this is such a personal attack, and then that will pop into my head. Don't take anything personally. And I'm like, yeah, but I really want to, and we can. But then I laugh and I'm like, okay, you're right, it has nothing to do with me. So I don't need to take it personally. And that's, you know, me doing my best. And then these things, you know, like slowly over time, reminders coming in to be like, okay, you know, I am doing my best, but here's, you know, did I need to say that? Was that impeccable? And then I find that a lot of times now it's like, oh, that was totally, like, I will notice the difference of, like, you know, a year ago I might have said this, but now I'm like, I just didn't even need to say anything, you know, in some situations. Just let it go. Because I'm, you know, using a couple of them. I didn't take, you know, I was impeccable with my word because I didn't say anything, and I didn't take it personally, so I didn't need to say anything. So, always do your best. And once you set the intention, it's going to flow. And just take some practice and give yourself some grace and love, because you are eternally adored for just being you. That's all you, that's all. It's not, you know, anything else. It's just being who you are. The divine expression that you are is loved and adored no matter what, eternally. It's a pretty amazing thing. So have a great day, evening, afternoon, what's ever happening when you watch this. And I love you all.